Your little cheeky face, like, look at you. My God, buddy. Here's the dress. Yeah.
That's the physical copies.
Yeah. But I've got those in electronics. But yeah, you just loved to be fancy. It didn't matter what gender was related to that. You just wanted to dress up sometimes, which I do too. Yeah.
Can you both introduce yourself and explain the family relationship again?
Yeah. So my name is Alex Ripley, and I'm Rowan's parent.
And I'm Rowan Omand, and this is my parent.
Great.
So I started exploring my gender identity first around, I'd say right at the beginning of junior high, if that's correct.
Yeah, there was some questioning, I'd say, there. I think it sort of face-planted you a little bit as you went to high school. But yeah, junior high, and I remember that Rowan would test the waters a little bit, and we were using conversations about friends at first, and whether there was a friend that existed in this space or not.
They did. I promise they did.
But it was like, hey, Mom. And again, I was Mom then, and still am Mom in terms of how Rowan has known me growing up. Yeah. But it was, I've got this friend, and they're kind of wanting to wear a chest binder, but they're not comfortable asking their family to help them buy it, and they need it for cosplay.
I didn't know what I wanted for myself at all. Like I didn't want it to be the case because it's not like somebody wants to go through life-altering things. It's exhausting because it's so much easier if it's just a child, playing pretend. That's easy.
Yeah.
You play pretend until you don't want to, and then
you're
you
good.
stop.
Yeah. That did not get better for you.
It's not like that.
Yeah. We had a kid who was so extroverted, so gregarious, so rough and tumble, as I had said earlier, right? And I was sort of seeing that kid being erased. I think you had called me from camp one time, and one of your friends was helping you because you were so distressed.
Yeah.
And I had a phone call from camp, and it kind of hit home what kind of a place Rowan was in terms of mental health. And I immediately called the IWK Central Referral, and I said, listen, I don't know exactly what we're going to need, but I feel like I need to have us on the waiting list for the trans health team.
Yeah.
I would much rather have a trans kid than no kid. Yep. I would much rather have a trans kid than a miserable kid. So in the bigger picture, again, I'm just going to follow what works.
It was a much safer...
It was a safer route, exactly. Regardless of what other things are going to come our way because of society's problems, I know it's right for this kid, and I'll follow his lead. Yeah. So when I started to see things with Rowan, I was scared. A parent in unknown territory, you just want what's best for your kid. And the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, how is this going to be difficult? How is this going to create obstacles? But for me also, I'm sure an aspect of it was I wasn't ready to notice something about myself, right? So I had my own internalized rejection about this reality. And I mean, I was 43 years not recognizing it, right? So if I don't have a language, if I don't have concepts of non-binary, of transness, to me, any kind of internal struggles I had in a gender space, I equated it to perfectionism. So the ways that I rejected my body, it was like the ways that I would see Rowan crumple in on himself when that dysphoria would kick in and he would feel so rejecting. I was like, I know that feeling. When I would start to see Rowan open up, and then I would start to feel it for myself. When I would start to lean into concept of gender nonconformity and maybe dress a little more androgynous and see how that felt. Or when my wife bought me a tank top that said boyish, I was like, oh, that's cool, that's quaint. And then when I tried it on, I just sobbed. And you don't know where that's coming from, right? There's no rational, analytical piece that can connect the dots directly. But when you have an emotional reaction, to me, I had to start listening to that.
I mean, now that you've gone through a transition, how are you feeling now, today?
Normal. Like some people, when they transition, they have that feeling of euphoria, of I'm finally who I think I am, but I never really had that. Yeah. It was less euphoria and just relief. we didn't take a plane when we went to go to the surgery. We drove. And every now and again, we'd have to stop at a gas station. And even if it was just a quick bathroom break, I would have to change into my binder in the car to go in.
And it was sweltering
even
heat.
if it was in, like, Quebec, and I didn't know anybody, and everyone spoke French, and I couldn't speak with them. I'd never see any of them again. I couldn't face them without it on. And those moments were the only thing that actually got me through the surgery, because otherwise I would have just been like, I don't need it.
I'll hide in the basement for the rest of my life.
I'll just be fine.
I'll be
I'll
so
be
shut
fine. I don't
down.
need it.
Yeah. So like I had top surgery last year. I'm like, so buddy,
How'd it go? What do
you walked this path before me. Right? Any recommendations? So yeah, he gets to be my mentor in some way, which is fabulous. Yeah. It's very valid for people to have concerns, to be afraid of the things that they don't understand. Everyone just wants their kids to be safe. Yeah. But this is a way a kid can be safe.
Changing clothes is not that big an issue. Even not cutting your hair, but styling it in more masculine or feminine ways. Getting bows, getting clips, putting your hair up, put a baseball cap on. Any little thing just to see how it feels. It's worth it. There's no harm in trying. You just have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paved the way for me. So I have such gratitude there, because I don't know that I would have ever gotten to a place where, one, I could recognize it in myself, or that I could get to a place of like, it doesn't matter how old I am. Yeah. Let's just live my life and be happy, right? So his example has meant everything to me in terms of that, right? And thanks.
You're welcome.